Hello and welcome to the SNS Cricket Diaries. I'm here with a quick wrap of the first day's play of the WTC Final 2025 between Australia and South Africa. And guys, what an enthralling day's play we've had. In fact, before the game started, it was always billed as a game between two very good bowling attacks, and we saw both the bowling attacks in their full flow today. South Africa won the toss and elected to field first under overcast conditions, I may say, so that really helped the South African fast bowlers and Kagiso Rabada. I mean, what a champion bowler he turned out. Picked up the first two wickets in the same over. Firstly, Usman Khwaja and then Cameron Green, who was coming at number three. Marnus Labuschagne, interesting, was opening today. But he also did not score any substantial amount of runs. He was out after scoring 17 runs of almost about 56 balls. And then there was a bit of a partnership between Travis Head and Steve Smith, but Travis Head got out before lunch, so Australia went in to lunch at 67 for cleared the South Africa session. But there was a fight back. There was a fight back by Travis Head and by Steve Smith and Bo Webster. Remember Bo Webster, that guy who made his debut in the SCG Test match against India and played really well. Again, he played very well, and in the company of Smith, they really flourished. The runs started to come very quickly. In fact, they scored more than 100 runs in the second session for the loss of only the wicket of Steve Smith. But that was a very crucial wicket. An untimely wicket because Steve Smith, when he's on song, he was, I think, on 66 before he got out. And generally, if he goes on into his 60s, he ensures he makes 100. Very rarely does he get out in that range of 60 to 70 runs. But today was that case. A juggling catch by Marco Jansen at first slip, sharp catch. But Bo Webster carried on, and there was again a good partnership between him and Alex Carey before, and they took the Aussies to about 191 for the loss of 5 wickets at tea. But then after tea, everything unravelled. Rabada came back and polished off the tail. They were dismissed for 212, and I mean, South Africa would have taken that right at the beginning if they were told that they would get Australia out for 212. But South Africa's batting, as I told you a little while earlier, it's a bit shaky, it's a bit flaky, and that turned out with the top-notch bowling attack that the Australians have. Mitchell Starc, Pat Cummins, and Josh Hazlewood all among the wickets today. South Africa have lost 4 wickets for 43 runs. Very slow scoring. A lot of the commentators were talking about them not taking the initiative, not trying to even look for those boundaries which could have released the pressure. And that's what happens if you let Mitchell Johnson. I'm saying if you let Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins just ball on that line and length, nagging line length, they will not give you anything. Mitchell Starc is a different kind of bowler. He's more of an attacking into the stumps kind of bowler, so he will give you those freebies from time to time. But even today, he was pretty much on song. But I mean, I think Vian Mulder scored just about 1 of 33 at one stage. He didn't score in much after that. And Temba Bavuma, although he's still there, again, very slow scoring. They have scored 43 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in I think well over 20 overs. I think the ball of the innings so far has been Josh Hazlewood's speech of a delivery to Tristan Stubbs, where he tried to come forward, but the ball just jagged back in a bit, and it created a gap between the bat and pad, and it rolled onto the stumps. So I think South Africa, well, they would have been very happy to get Australia out for 212 in their first innings, but to beat themselves at 43 for 4, it is advantage Australia. It's going to be interesting to see how the second day's play pans out. South Africa will have to again rebuild from the beginning. It'll be interesting to see what kind of conditions will be there tomorrow in the morning. Will it be like today, the overcast conditions that we saw, which then will probably definitely help Australia? And Australia should very well be thinking of dismissing South Africa for somewhere about 100 to 120 and getting a sizable 90 to 100 run lead. And for South Africa, it is first and foremost to get as close as possible to the Australian total, because if they fall too far behind in the first innings, it's going to be very difficult for them to win the test match from there on. But so for South Africa, I think taking any kind of lead will be even thinking of any kind of lead will be a bonus. They have to ensure they get as close as possible to Australia. Maybe just give a 10 to 20 run lead if possible. That will keep the game on an even keel. But if they fall short by 60, 70 or 80 runs, then it's going to be very difficult for the South African team. Let's see how they pan out. It is David Bellingham and Temba Bavuma at the crease. They have Kyle Verreynne to come as well. Marco Jansen can bat. Kagiso Rabada can also hit a few. But I think this partnership is the key. They will have to take the South African total to as close as possible to the Australian total if they have if they want to entertain any chances of even getting a sizable lead. So yeah, I'm going to be there at the end of each day's play, reviewing the day, and you please let me know in the comments section what do you feel about how the second day will pan out. Until then, take care. Bye.